Yeah.
Excellent. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the September 15th, 2025 meeting in the Putnam Valley Board of Trustees. And as we are now doing, we are going to go around the room, introduce who we are. That way you know who we are when you're watching this. And also it helps with our note taking. So I will start. I am Joe Ferraro. I am the president of the Board of Trustees.
I'm Jody Carlson. I'm a Board of Trustee member.
I'm Tom Pendleton. I'm a Board of Trustee member.
I'm Jackie Hoyskin, the business manager of the library.
I'm Marilyn Power, trustee.
I'm Amina Chaudhry, library director.
Liz Frost, trustee. Gabrielle Pozo Finkel, trustee.
Ginger Fergie, trustee.
Leslie Martin, trustee.
And I want to remind everybody to project so that the microphone will find you. And Isabel, welcome. So we are starting, and we can start with public comment in person or via email on any agenda items. Anybody's got anything? Michael? No? You're good. Okay. So we're going to move on to, can I get a resolution to approve the August 18th, 2025 meeting minutes?
Second. Jody will second.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Excellent. Going to go into presentations. We have a quick presentation. I mean, I don't know if you want to say anything about this program that we're going to do a presentation on.
Yes, Joan and Cole approached the rest of the staff a couple months ago to talk to us about a project that was especially important because it would involve the community. So Joan ordered these canvases, which you now see in the meeting room, and meanwhile, we got the word out to let people know they could create a little mini canvas at home and then bring it in. There's also the opportunity to come here in person and do it with our own supplies. And we had a really big turnout, and I think everyone's really enjoying looking at the canvases, and it was a really nice thing to let a lot of people come together to create the September art show.
So that more people can see it, we have a slideshow of that. It's about 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes, and it'll be on the big screen here as well as in your home.
Thanks, Joan. Patrons really were excited about this, and they've been coming in to take a look, so it's really very cute.
So it's great that we have so many artists that are coming in and doing stuff with us. It's great. I like that. That's it for presentations. We move on to our reports, which we start with Friends of the Library report.
Hello from the Friends. First, I'd like to present the library with a contribution towards the purchase of some tables that I understand the library would like.
Well, thank you, kind sir. Thank you.
Now, to make that money back, we're planning a fundraising event similar to last year's Mystery of the Lost Librarian, but this year it's murder. I can't tell you who, can't tell you where, can't tell you with what or how. You're gonna have to find that out for yourselves. The game will be afoot, somewhat like, actually very much like, our favorite game of Clue. Our guests will have a lovely dinner, as we did last year, hopefully with contributions from local establishments. And then they will go visit parts of the library and interview some suspects who have certain information they can provide and certain information they can't provide. I did a field trip and went to the Mark Twain House Museum in Hartford, which runs a Clue evening once a month. And it was delightful. And we solved the mystery. So I'm trying to recreate that.
Wow, thank you.
You're very
Very
welcome.
exciting.
I would appreciate assistance if, in particular, if you have any connections stronger than I would have with our local food establishments. Last year, we had a couple, but there were some that we weren't able to connect with well. And I absolutely don't want to sound ungrateful. I'm not ungrateful, but helpful. If I ask for an idea for a program, helpful is, here's 2 people I spoke to who would be willing to give a program. You just tell them when. Less helpful is, here's a list of 6 people you can call. Also may solve my problem, but also gives me more work to do. I'm looking for someone to help me with some of the work. So if you have a connection with a food establishment and want to reach out to them and say, this is when the event is, November 1st. We'd love a tray of food, if they're willing to do that. If they're a pizzeria, maybe they'd rather give a pizza than a tray of food. A variety would be lovely. Also, Gabrielle had suggested last year that we have prizes of some sort, which was a delightful idea, but once again, somebody either needs to take that on as their project to have other people go out and do that, or make it their project and go around to local businesses. And of course, we don't have that many businesses here in town, but in the immediately surrounding area there are. We could do that if someone were willing to find us some prizes.
Michael, I know in the past, Club Fit has donated a gift card, a money gift card. So I can go to them and ask.
Terrific. That's exactly what I have in mind. I don't mean Club Fit, but that's not obviously I don't think about Club Fit at all. But I should, and everyone should. Those of you at home, you should think about Club Fit. But some of the local restaurants may, stores may, folks who provide a variety of services may. So that's a possibility. The event can survive without that, but it might be nice to give our winning detectives something to take with them other than the memory of a good time.
And this is November 1st
It
at
is
7 p.m.
Saturday, November 1st, in this room and the surrounding library.
this year.
Cole is already on the project of drafting a flyer,
Oh, good.
so we'll start promoting soon.
7 o'clock.
7 p.m.
7 o'clock, dinner first, followed by
Murder.
Great. Thank you, Michael. And,
Hope you can all come.
and,
May not all be leaving, but.
I have somebody I sent your way as somebody new for Friends Work.
that would be wonderful.
So they should be reaching out to you shortly. I met with somebody this week. Thanks again, Mike. Appreciate it.
Yeah, very exciting.
Director's report. That's everybody's got that in the drive. I don't know if there's anybody who has anything specific.
Yes, if anyone has a question or something wasn't clear.
I had one thing to talk about in terms of the plans to do to open Sundays. I got to thinking because Leslie had talked about the small number of museums in the Mid-Hudson Library System, which are open on Sunday. Very few. I know it's been difficult to staff. And I know that I know this was really born out of the interest from the patrons. The patron number that responded seemed, as I thought about it, seemed quite small. What refresh my memory, what was the sample size and how many people?
As far as data, I don't remember the data, but I mean, it was the number one thing that people asked for when, what thing would you like most from the library? And it was Sunday.
So for some reason I was recalling like 80 or less than 100.
Respondents.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I think it might have started there and might have grown, but yeah.
Okay. Given that small number, and the small number of Mid-Hudson Library, branches that are open on Sunday, it makes me lean less towards a must go personally. How's the staffing going?
Well, we had like 3 people for September, but we really needed 4, so we kind of halted for this month at least.
Why do you think that's a small number for a response?
80 respondents
That's a
out of
lot for the library, isn't it? We don't get that much.
how
response.
many patrons, how many people with library
About
cards?
5,500.
80 out of 5,500 is
Well, a lot of people don't respond. Do we get a big response to anything that we ask? Really? To me, that sounded like a big number considering the usual answers, which are no answers.
No, but I
don't
think-
reply.
Am I just clarifying? You got 80 total responses, and of that, the largest within the 80 was this. So we're talking about less than 80. So even
Right.
if it was 40 people, that could have been the biggest thing out of the 80 people. So 40 versus, I mean, I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying too. It's like,
Well, we have a lot of things on the list. so-
Right. I mean, so it's something, my thinking of it is it's kind of the tip of the iceberg type situation. Like, for instance, are adding Mahjong to an evening, right, was birthed out of one person saying something, and now it's kind of thriving. So I wouldn't, and it's not, the library used to be open on Sundays, and then finances, et cetera, and then less hours. We're just trying to get back to that base, and we're still, Leslie, are we still like at least 4 hours shy, 1 hour? Well, because we added the hours recently of kind of what is standard practice. Not that we would open for 1 hour on a Sunday. And we're only talking about one Sunday a month to start. But I understand. I understand that. But I'm just thinking along the lines of and just anecdotally myself, I'm heard like on the days that we open late, people come here like, oh, I wish the library was open. So it's a hodgepodge of things. So, but it feels like Sunday might be the day, and if it's an experiment and it fails, then we shut them down. I think the idea of Sundays might be the day that people catch up, and Saturday's the day you're doing all these things because you had to build up over the weekend. And Sundays it's a much slower day for a lot of people. It might be a day that the library could thrive. We don't know, and we wouldn't know until we experiment. I see it as an experimentation, not this is something we have to do and we'll do forever. That's just kind of how I was thinking. If we could staff it, it'd be great. Also, I think it gives opportunities to folks that don't have access to the library at other times. A lot of shift workers, et cetera, et cetera. Sundays could be a really good day for certain populations that would, might see the library in a different light because it's open for them.
Yeah.
That's all.
Thank you.
And even though
Working families.
response data isn't great, it's the only data we have.
Yeah, and I wonder if, like, have we actually calculated the hours and the costs for doing it? Should we try to, that's what I keep thinking is, again, I would encourage, like, as you hire new people that have not worked here, that you make Sunday a part of their schedule, and that, you consider hiring people that just wanted, like a couple of people that just wanted to work on Sunday once a month. I mean, are those people out there? Could they be? That would, so that people that are already working don't have to feel like they have to change their life. But, I mean, it wouldn't be that much to start with, right? You had a couple
No,
of
I mean, you're
part-time
talking
people.
4 to 5 hours once a month for 4 people. As far as the financial piece of it, it's not, exorbitantly high.
But so maybe it's easier just to think about hiring a couple of people that aren't working at other times, or maybe
A cocktail of,
that would like to get a little extra money by working 1 month of the.
Maybe some of the volunteers that we met at the dinner, I don't know, there were a couple of people that love the library that have jobs during the week, but certainly give what seems to be a lot of time,
Anyway, it's just,
that know the library, are familiar.
and I understand there's like management issues and stuff, you always need at least one person solidly understands
Right.
how to operate the library at all times.
Right.
Maybe 2 of them, but if we could have the other 2 people that just did that and wanted to do that, instead of, it's just a thought.
anything else on the director's report? All right, treasurer's report?
So for the reserve fund information, our cash flow reserve fund has about 150,000 in it, and we're gonna take out 40 soon. And the rest of that account has about 120. It was actually a bit more, I think we gained like $2,000 last month. Which isn't too bad. At any rate, the yield on that one was about 3% year to date, and over the year about 2.6. Our other account, the managed account fund, which is the contingency reserve fund, has $64,000 in it, and its yield is better because it's meant to be. It's about 8.6 year to date and 7.3 for the whole year. Our employee benefit accrued liability reserve fund rolls off the top. 29,000. So we're good there. As far as our income goes, as expected or on budget is funding services, program income, and building usage. Over budget is grants. In this case, it's income, so over budget is good. So we've made about $12,000 on grants. which is about 7.6 thousand over budget. Under budget is donations. We only $300 under budget. We've made a big $111 on donations. Our total income is about $4,000 over budget. And our higher income is due to grant income. As far as expenses go, as expected or on budget, are salaries, operations, insurance, real estate, taxes, contract services, catalog and processing, travel and meetings, and advertisement, publicity and fundraising. None of them are over budget. And under budget, we spent 4.5 thousand on materials and services, which is $1,000 under budget. We've spent 25% So books, we've spent about $1,000. On ebooks, we spent about 3,000. And that's about, and those were rounded. So it's about 25% on books and 75% on ebooks. Program expenses are about $2,000 under budget. The equipment and tech is $1,000 under budget, and buildings and grounds is at $4,000 under budget. Of course, that will go up when it's winter, and we have to shovel snow, plus pay for oil and heat. So the total expenses right now are about $14,000 under budget. But remember that a lot of these expenses are budgeted every month when we don't pay them every month. So that's it.
Thank you.
Committee reports. Essentially, the Executive Finance Committee meets prior to each board meeting. The minutes are in the folders. Essentially, it's just kind of teeing up stuff that's on the agenda to make sure that there's clarity on that. The meeting minutes are in the folder. We met again just before this meeting to deal with just some questions because they came up over the course of the day, which you were sent that information. So there's nothing really new to add there. Facilities.
Joe, Amina, Jackie, and me met with Aphrodite Construction, Jackie's brother, to discuss construction plans. And he was very nice, and we ironed out some things we weren't clear on. And we've also received an updated construction cost from them. We've developed a more comprehensive ADA compliance plan, even though we can't actually fund it. But now Mid-Hudson gives you a list of what it is to comply. So I made that into a document for us to follow. Like when we did the bathroom, we really weren't sure what we needed, but this is all written down now. The inch, it was like, so, and then we've also updated the facility plan, and I believe those are in the files here. Okay. Did you put them in there? I think I saw them. Yeah, so you can.
I think you did that.
No, I just turned off the screen, the projector. Nope, they don't need it for anything.
So at any rate, if anybody wants to look at that, the ADA one will put you to sleep. You don't really have to look at that. But the updated facility plan, it would be great if people could look at it and see if they want to add anything, or
It's in a folder.
it's in this
It's in the meeting folder.
meeting folder.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's pretty much what it was before, but we've added some stuff, and then we put it so that the stuff we've already done is at the bottom, so it's more clear. And
If I can say here too, when you look at it, it is really encouraging because it's the plan, and then there's a bunch of things completed. There's a bunch of things in progress. It's
gives you the feeling we're moving
it
forward.
gives you
And then we
motion,
have,
right?
then we have
no,
that stuff to do it long term, and
Yeah.
that's all very stuff. So
Yeah.
So the last thing that we have to do is update our facility list, which is all the really exciting stuff like dates of acquisition, repairs, etc. that Kathy started. So I'll have to work on that. Me and Marilyn will work on that. So that's all I have.
Thank you, Leslie.
Do we still have those movies in the closet?
We do.
But one of these days,
Not
they will
gone.
be gone, and we may not know how or why.
Really? Maybe that can be part of my
Okay.
murder mystery.
It's,
So-
yes,
No, that it's,
long-range planning. So we've met a number of times, and the last meeting was September 4th, kind of finalizing a lot of parts about our community conversation situation, and some really nice buy-in. I've been reaching out to folks like Matthew Slater, Kevin Byrne, Jackie Nobby, to start those one-on-ones. And we're gonna have a flurry of activity in the next week about that, and then we'll expand that to kind of focus groups and that type of thing. Jody was working on a press release. I took that and expanded on it to create an entire cadre of materials that we can use to kind of let folks know what we're planning and what the goals are. Even a social media kind of strategy. So that's all in the drive. Actually, it's not in that drive. It's in the long range planning drive, but you'll see all that information as it comes through. Anything else? I mean, we're meeting on Thursday
4 o'clock.
at 4 o'clock to continue the process. And then we're scheduled at this point on Monday to meet with Matt Slater and at least Jackie Nobby and probably somebody else. So we'll probably get a bunch done that one day, back to back to back.
Did we get a response from Sarah Bartlett?
So she's available on Monday. She can't
Okay.
come on Thursday, which is why we're doing everything on Monday at this point. That way we can do that kind of outreaches, and then we'll start with, and then I have there's a formal letter as well in the machine, kind of letting staff know the whole thing, everything that's going on with staff. So staff is totally up to date, and we'll be sharing that with Amina, and then we'll fine tune that and get that out to staff so that they know that they're totally, we totally are counting on their input as we do this process, as very much involved in the process. Anything else? Long range plan?
No.
Those are fun meetings. Development committee. Well, I guess this is coming prior to reorganization. And there's been no activity on the development committee, and we talk about that when we get to the next section of our agenda. Landscaping.
Well, the flower boxes look nice because Lawrence is watering them. And the only other thing I said, Jody's put a lot of different perennials together to the land, and after your bee incident, I don't know what you've done, so.
We're 14 shrubs in now, and they're gonna start to create a nice hardscape.
Can you put down your screen with the blocking your face?
And hardscape that's holding them in place. So things are moving along as long as I get rocks. I need rocks if anyone has extra rocks. I know we have rocks, but I'm always looking for rocks.
How big of rocks are you looking for?
Well, I always like some capstones for the tops of walls. And
How are you gonna transport the rocks? Should I come to your house and get them?
I have lots of rocks.
Okay, my CRV, my husband was just talking about how many thousands of pounds of rocks I've probably transported.
Not to mention all the metal
You
works
should
and the
stress.
No, you shouldn't have to do that yourself, obviously, or, I mean.
I happen to,
Why can't, if you need rocks, why can't we buy rock? I mean, have them delivered.
We can do a rock recycling program at Leslie's house,
Jo-
so.
We're
Jody
under
enjoys,
construction, so I
What?
watch
She
the rocks
enjoys
as they dug up everything.
So how big, like, like little?
big,
Big.
big.
I got big
Um,
and little.
Oh,
You know, I think,
I have a million rocks too at my
I
house.
think
but
head to Church
I
Street
feel like
and you'll
you
get a
shouldn't have to do that
rock-a-rama.
yourself.
well, I think actually if there was something to be helpful, it might help to get, some clean fill, like a couple yards of clean fill just dumped here. Because I've been going to someone's house and filling up Terry's chicken bags, and bringing it like 50 pounds at a time. Or, you know, or some help with some of the shrubs so that we can get more in. But
so where are you putting the shrubs? I haven't seen them.
They're babies, they're so
But
cute.
where are they?
along the ravine, along this
Along
side
the
of the
perimeter.
ravine, so
Are they
that
inside or outside the guardrail? Inside the guardrail, yes, is that where you put it?
they're,
Close
if
to the
you're
water.
looking at if you're in the parking lot, looking at the library, you see the ravine, and then the wall coming up is where everything I've put in so far.
So you're putting them into the slope?
Yes, well, I'm building like planters,
Terracing.
terracing
I'll
around
have to come and look. That's very exciting.
They're very
Yeah,
cute.
I mean, they're small, but you know, like a small good juniper costs $60. So it's better than a bigger one. But guys, got some sky pencils, hollies, so.
You've taken stuff off your own property, which anyone can do if you want to split some perennial. You could volunteer those, they're a little lighter than rock.
Yes, I'm always looking for I'd like Russian sage. I would like to put a big swath of Russian sage in one section of the rocks.
So it's the time of year when you can split your perennial.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to volunteer?
Well, thank you,
I have
everything looks
lots,
really
so
great.
try to put them together.
And I'll always take bulbs.
Ah,
I'll probably put in a couple hundred bulbs there. It'll be really fun in the spring.
Yeah, it's too bad that there aren't high school students to help you lift.
The rocks.
Don't they have a garden club with the high school of kids that are waiting to.
They
lift
have an
their son?
environmental club.
How about just any kids wanting community service hour?
Well, you know, if actually in our back ravine, we could, I would, it's hard enough for some people to watch me on the rocks, never mind having high school kids on the rocks.
Yeah.
However, on the back ravine, there are areas that really need to be cleared off. We've got tons of those trees of heaven and we just need to like clear it. So, that's an option for kids who need high
Actually, the
school hours.
environmental club might
People.
really be interested in that.
They might, and so might Kat Westervelt, who runs science research. I just would be interested in the erosion, the effects of erosion if we do too much clearing without putting something. I mean, I don't know.
I do have some plans for replacement as well. I've spoken with some professional gardeners who've given me some guidance on that. And I've been throwing in other stuff, like really rooty Siberian irises and, you know, stuff that just grabs on. But we just have ledges. So eventually things will erode and slide off because it's just dirt on ledges.
Right.
Like the whole town.
Yeah, you know, unless we really build in a rock barrier like they have along some of the highways
Mhm.
to really
Oh,
hold
with the mesh
everything back.
holding the-
Yeah, the mesh.
Wow. Yep. Well, thank you for all your ongoing
Yeah.
work. Thank you, also.
You're welcome. It's moving along. Russian sage, people. That will make me happy.
Okay, great. So now discussion items, starting with committee updates and realignment. Going back and forth with everybody on needs for particular committees. We've got we have full attendance on all the committees that we need right now, with the newest changes being policy review is myself, Leslie, and Terry. Nominating is myself, Terry, and Gabrielle. And getting into the reimagined and reinvigorated development fundraising committee, which I will call for a meeting so we can, in earnest, get some activity going with our focus that needs to be on kind of bigger fundraising goals than what we've been to so far. Library trustee meeting dates. This is the second meeting. I put them in there without any objection or any feedback. I'm assuming that we're okay. So the dates are now the third Monday of each month, with the exception of January and February, which will be the third Tuesday instead of the third. Well, yeah, I guess it's third Tuesday instead of the third Monday because of the Martin Luther King holiday and President's Day holiday. So it'll be the Tuesday after those holidays will be those meetings. Bylaw Articles 5 and Article 3. So this is a result of the work that Policy Review Committee had done. I think I put a number of different things. I have the draft in there as well as a kind of a bunch of different documents to kind of explain the proposed changes. I'll doing a high level kind of greatest hits of what the proposed changes are. Primarily, rather than having our annual meeting in October, we are going to move that to December. And this meeting, the September meeting, is the meeting that puts together the nominating committee, which we were looking at. And then the process for becoming a trustee is slightly changed. Rather than just filling out the questionnaire and submitting that, since we're going to be less oriented on come to the meeting and vote at the meeting for trustees, it's going to be a full day vote here at the library from when we open until the meeting, so that it'll be paper ballot. In order for a candidate to be eligible on the ballot, the person will need to fill out that questionnaire as well as get 10 signatures of library card holders to be eligible to be on the ballot. They will need to have those signatures in by our next meeting, which is October. And then in the November meeting, we will announce who those candidates are. And then the vote would be in December.
Okay, so the annual meeting's not the November date?
It's December instead of October. No, it's October. So now it is proposed to be December. The idea of that, so somebody becomes a board member or elected to be a board member in mid-December, they would start their term just 2 weeks later instead of 3 months later. And they were necessary to do some tweaks based on the change of the date. And there are going to be additional tweaks that are going to be necessary. Realize that in one of the other bylaws, It talks about the terms of officers. The officers are elected 1 month after the annual meeting. However, by moving the meeting to December, that puts the 1 month after that meeting in January, but the officers take their office in January 1st. So this is not in the current article, it's another article that will come back for the next meeting. Didn't find it till later, that we will be looking to change it so that at the annual meeting, we would vote for the officers at that meeting in December, so that there's enough time for the changing of the guard, for lack of a better phrase. I think those are the highlights. Again, the biggest highlight is it's an all-day vote here in the library, paper ballot, and you need to get 10 signatures to get on that ballot to be considered. Which shouldn't be hard for anybody who really wants to be a board member.
Questions?
Sure.
So do we have like a 1 page or less description of what it means to be a trustee or what the duties of a trustee are? Like, I'm trying to encourage some people to be trustees and like, well, what do you have to do? So do we have something that's like a brief write-up saying this is what it entails to be a trustee?
Well, not a brief one. It's in our bylaws. It's pretty complex as to what the role of a trustee is. I mean, we can create a 1-pager.
I would just suggest that might be useful, like for promoting the idea of getting good people, somebody that hasn't been like coming to all the meetings and observing us for a year, and all the people that do, who are getting ready to act to be a trustee. You know, I'm just joking, but you know what I'm saying? I think like a simple, like basically you have to come to meetings every month and you should be on a committee and participate as a committee member on 1 or more committees.
Right. So I mean, we can distill the official bylaws piece into something that's more 1-pager. Absolutely.
And is the application the same application as there was last year or the year before?
It's, well, in the documentation, is the new document. I mean, the questionnaire is the same. It's just the addition of the signatures on top, which is in the packet.
Questionnaire, not the application.
Questionnaire is the same. So yes.
That was on these documents, right? Yeah.
I mean, the only other thing, so the people that are currently on the board will be electing the new officers for the following year. The new people that are elected to the board won't participate in that until the following year because they don't start until January.
Right, because also a new trustee coming in, somebody brand new, probably wouldn't be an officer anyway.
Right, but they won't be voting. I mean, it's fine with me. I mean, you could also just say like at the first meeting, we elect the officers for that year. But I mean, I also hear what you're saying, like if there's a whole slate of new people coming in, they can't like suddenly elect. We're gonna have the old timers, they're gonna tell who are the officers for the coming year, get these new people, you know, introduced to the way we do things here. No, I'm just being supposed.
But Tom is right in the sense that I don't know how important this is, but you put off voting on officers until that meeting in January, and the existing officers simply carry over. Unless, of course, they've left the board. I guess that wouldn't work. but you know, I'm trying to imagine.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like
Setting
they're
it all
gonna
up.
be officers, it's just like when are the new people gonna participate
Right.
and who are gonna be the officers while
Right.
they're serving. But it's,
Yeah.
I'm perfectly happy with either way. But
Yeah,
in some ways, it makes sense. People that have been doing it know what's going on and they've had experiences and they're gonna vote on who the people are gonna be the officers. And it's not like it's a big
Competition.
Usually it's more like twisting arm.
Yeah.
Would you be the secretary for another year? Would you please get the treasurer for another year? Yeah.
Actually, I don't think we even asked Leslie. We just.
Thank you, Leslie. Thank you.
Anything else on questions on that? It's part of the vote. If there are any more questions, I'd be happy to answer them. Okay, community room construction plans was already, some of the conversation already happened as part of the committee report. New information was unearthed today. Lovely. We went to the town to seek the permit situation, and they said we need an architect. So we need an architect. Luckily, we had the benefit of a recommendation from the town, and we actually got an architect in today. So our timeline still seems like we can keep up their timeline, even getting an architect at this stage. The next stage with that architect is they came in, did the quick look around. They have a scope of work. They have kind of the draft pictures or the draft design layout, I should say. And then they will come back and they will do a real assessment and then give us a proposal and then move on. But they seem very much wanting to be accommodating, work with us and work with the town, and the fact that it was a recommendation by the town hopefully make things go smooth.
How pricey is this?
We don't know until we get the proposal.
We should get in a few days, really. They seem very prompt with everything so far, so we feel very excited.
And it's definitely an offer we couldn't refuse.
Exactly. Anything else on that I forgot to bring up on that piece? So in the packet and in what we're asking for today is, because there's still more details we go to go through, but not certain details. But given the timeline, the agenda item is a resolution to allow MENA to enter the contract. And the contract still being finalized, but because of the timeline, I want to make sure that because otherwise we're waiting to another month and then that messes things up. So that's on the agenda for this evening. So what you have is the scope of work as well as the proposed cost, and the architect throws not necessarily a wrench, but throws another wrinkle into our situation. And we're still planning on November 17th as a start for demo. Fingers crossed. The next item is the reserve fund balance allocation. I call it redux. You want to say something about that, Leslie?
What's her name?
JD. DJ.
TJ.
TJ.
TJ definitely told us we couldn't use the numbers we chose. We have to use different numbers. And we have
Account numbers.
Account numbers, and we have to put it in a different place in the paperwork. So it's nothing, there's nothing changed except for the numbers and where it is listed. So
Who's TJ?
she's
Sorry.
the
Accountant.
accountant.
I understand. Thank you.
So tonight's agenda item is just to
Renumber.
redefine those accounts.
I think we should have a spirited debate.
Please, I am looking forward to it.
Instead of 95-10, it's going to be 35-10.
Right.
Yeah, I object.
That's a bad luck number.
Good, it's not 666 if they want to say.
Last item is community conversations, but we already kind of talked about that. Anything else on board discussion that I've not included on here? I think those are kind of, if you've not noticed, the agenda now is separated into these groups: presentation, reports, discussion, new business. That way, we're not discussing the new business during new business. If there's any questions, we're dealing with that during discussion, and then we're able to just kind of go through and take those votes instead of belabor any further conversation. I think it also streamlines our conversation because we can easily tangentialize all kinds of things during.
Potentialize, I like that.
Yeah.
If I could say just quickly in conversation here, I'm very excited with how the community conversation thing is going. You guys are really moving along.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Excellent.
More to come.
Yep.
You know, we accelerated the rate at which we were meeting to every 2 weeks instead of every 4 for this short
Yeah.
period of months to get it pushed forward, and then we'll be able to go back to every 4 weeks, I think.
Yeah, I think we're hitting like the big push now. Once we get our one-on-ones done, then we go into the group meetings and then the general public meetings.
That's great.
And of course, staff will be included. Okay. If there's nothing else, we can move on to the actual business of business. So I want to remind everybody to speak up when you're doing your resolution and seconding. That way it gets picked up. Right. So can I get a resolution to accept the treasurer's report, warrants, financial transactions, and reconciliation detail?
I move that we accept it.
Any questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Can I get a resolution to accept the director's report and include it in the official minutes?
I move that we accept the director's report and include it in the official meeting minutes.
I second that.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Can I get a resolution to adopt updated committees and assignments?
I'll second.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Excellent. Can I get a resolution to adopt the trustee meeting dates for 2026? Anyone?
I second.
All in favor? Aye.
I
Great.
abstain
Yeah,
because I won't be here.
but you can still accept it. That's see this gets to your point of the person you're building, you're planting seeds for a forest you'll never see. Okay, gonna get a resolution to adjust the ledger definitions and allocations for fiscal year 2024-25 with no net change to the budget.
I resolve that we adjust the ledger definitions allocations for fiscal year 24-25 with no net change to the budget.
Excellent.
I'll second that.
Questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Item F, can I get a resolution to update and adopt bylaw Article 5 annual meeting and Article 3 Board of Trustees?
I got that one. I second that.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Aye. Excellent. G, getting a resolution to make a transfer of $40,000 from the cash flow reserve fund 3510 to the general fund 1010.
I resolve. Resolve to do that.
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Item H, resolution to authorize the director to enter into agreement with Aphrodite Construction for building renovations as per the scope of work document and proposal.
I move we pass that.
I second.
All in favor? Aye. Fantastic. Item I, oh, this is new, I forgot to bring this up and during discussion, so we can talk about it during, right before we do this. So I wrote everybody earlier today that during preventative maintenance, we identified that our well is no longer working. The young well is no longer working. The young well pump, which is 15 years old, I think. It's 25?
Yeah.
Okay. That's the young well
The
pump.
older one is a 35-year-old.
So luckily, somebody had the foresight to not disconnect completely the old well. And so we've been running on the old well, which is 35 years old plus. And it's a very sandy well, right? That's the one that's really sandy.
Yes.
So we're lucky that we actually have water, and we never know how long that will last because we're on borrowed time with that. So During that visit, it was identified that the person, they could replace it and fix it. And they're looking to do it on a Sunday when we are closed to minimize the amount of downtime we have in the library. I don't know if you know where this well is. This well is actually in the building, under a desk, in the office behind the circulation
In
desk.
the staff room.
So, yeah, it's good that it's gonna happen on a Sunday.
Well, it may
Um,
spread out into a Monday if you read his.
Yes, it may.
Yeah, but we have to then dismantle this desk. Well, first clear the desk, dismantle half of this very large workstation.
It's a whole thing.
It's gonna be kind of a
What if they
little bit
have
of a
to
project.
drill?
I don't think he has to drill. It's not the well, it's the well pump.
So they just drop a new pipe down there.
Well, it's not just dropping.
I mean,
Yes, you rip up the
they're
floor.
not pulling in the,
Rip up the floor, right?
No, it's
No,
gonna
it's
rip up
it's
the
got a
floor. It's already
hatch.
got like a
Oh,
hatch.
good.
It's just that there's a desk on top. It's
Yeah, right,
enormous with
right.
all kinds of.
But
stuff.
it's not as though it's the same well that you have in your yard where they have to bring in the crane to pull out the pipes and put
Okay.
down new pipes. It's a different setup. I think it's a flexible hose that goes
Well,
down.
we'll see.
We'll see.
If anybody
Best
wants to
land.
come on a Sunday, we can all sit there and learn about this exciting thing.
Point being, they can do it within the next 2 weeks or so. And the
Oh, well.
and the
I'll go to my last meeting.
and the
Hope so.
the pricing is really, I mean, I can't imagine, I can't thank them enough for the
Yeah,
great pricing
Very
that they're
generous,
giving.
very
Yes,
generous and kind. And to come on a Sunday.
And
go-
to be willing to work with us on that,
Service here, which is
So,
very thoughtful.
Very kind.
friend of the life, in
Yeah.
different ways, not in quotes. So item I, can I get a resolution to authorize the director to enter an agreement with Walter Stubbs Contracting to replace, repair water well equipment as per the proposal of $5,100?
Heck, yes.
I second her, yes.
Any other questions or comments? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Old business. Tables. That's kind of tables. That's fantastic. Thank you, Michael, again for your support.
Yes,
Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael.
It's very exciting.
Yes. Secondly, we have trees backs. Ironically, I shouldn't say ironically, but coincidentally, somebody from the town, Richard, came over. Thank you, Jody, for imploring him. You have something to say about it?
I had asked a month ago, and the assistant building inspector didn't feel that he was really well enough versed to deal with the level of trees that we have. So Rich spoke with Amina. You have the most information about our needs.
Well, what our needs are, well, we did a very, we did a walk around of, looked at the pile up here on the south side, and then we looked more like on, the west side where there's these leaning trees, and we went to the north side, the parking lot where there's more trees, so to kind of get a feel for it, because it's kind of a lot of different sections with different types of problems, and he was very understanding that, these are a lot of, things going on, but he said that after November 1st, that's when we could do the cutting because of the endangered northern bats. What are they called?
Long-eared
Oh,
bats.
sorry, long-eared northern. So we would need to mark those trees with orange spray paint with an X or a circle to be very clear, and then he'll take another look before we start.
They're going to be looking.
I've been up there for hours marking the trees already.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go up again and make sure that everything, there were some that I put caution tape around because it was easier, I thought, to see. And then there are some that you can't put an X on because I'll be like right on the ravine.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I've been wrapping them up.
Yeah, don't lean over the ravine, please.
She was in the ravine, when I just drove up.
That's a tame ravine, not that ravine.
We have two
She
ravines.
should get in there.
We live in a ravine.
I
Yeah,
grew up
Richard
on
said.
in ravines.
Raised by wolves.
She was raised by wolves.
And long hair.
Was.
So which street company is this?
We don't know.
This is
The town.
This is Richard.
So we have multiple bids that we had to re-review, and we had to figure out which of those bids make sense with the trees, and maybe we have to figure out if it's safe for Jody to be the person or to have the tree people come and do those X's. To see, because based on the X's, because I don't know, maybe things that you think are X's might not be X's, or they might have more X's than you have. I mean, I don't know.
It's true,
You
and
know.
that will give us the scope.
Well, you have to leave, I think you have to leave it to the tree people to make the decisions anyway, because they're the experts.
Well, we did ask our last tree person to do that, and they wanted, that tree that fell had a big X on it. It didn't get cut.
Well, that's more of a contractor issue then.
Yeah.
Right. So we need
Won't
to
happen again.
we need to revisit and figure out and be ready to go, because we don't want to be dealing with the first snow
No.
when we have the window open to get in there. So
6 weeks, it's doable. We'll have enough other things to keep ourselves busy in the meantime.
and since our last meeting, item C on old business, the last meeting that Thursday after we had the asbestos. Can't you tell? It's beautiful in here now. The asbestos is no longer
With us.
in the troughs that are here. I can feel it. Feels great. They were here, I think, 4 or 5 hours, and they finished the whole project. So that was, uneventful for the most part.
Yeah.
But now,
That's what we're going for. When I heard about the well, I said to Joe, when I came in, "Have we fixed everything?"
not quite yet.
It's a vicious cycle.
Like a house, it is fixed.
Well, that happens. You don't do anything with certain things for decades at a time. So, yes, going through the list.
But we've been ticking them off.
We're
That's
going
why
through
if
the
you look-
list.
If you look over the
Very
facilities plan,
impressive.
it is morale boosting.
It does happen, yeah.
We've done a lot.
And even going way back to the Victoria Bridge and,
Yep, it's all on there. It really reminds us that it's worth reading, because it really reminds us how much has been done.
that was a big deal.
A huge deal.
And now we've only got, renovations and driveways and trees and wells,
Piece of cake.
and all these things. Snap.
How are we ever gonna pay for the new parking lot to be done? That's like a small portion.
We're not gonna worry about that right now.
Yes, it's not on the agenda.
Yes.
We're going to switch anyway before we decide.
That's where that development committee.
So again, yeah, we're just gonna get it passed.
Public.
Thus the new reinvigorated development committee. Any old business that I didn't address that we want to address before we go into kind of wrapping things up? All right, so now is the opportunity for public comment in person or via email on any items. All right. Mr. Public,
Mr. Public, Mr. Q. Down there. You got anything?
Got nothing.
all right, then,
Nice job.
yes, thank you. And then is board member comment on items or future board meeting topics that we want to make sure we add to a future agenda. And if not, we can move on to, can I get a resolution to adjourn our meeting? And our next meeting will be October 20th, 2025 at 7 p.m.
Can I move that we adjourn, but ask, soon ask if people are going to this, County Library Association.
That's November, right?
No, it's October.
That's an
We have
October.
2 things in
I don't
Isn't
know.
it October 8th? October 6th.
October 24th is Hyde Park,
All right.
Yeah.
and they didn't send that. That's
I'm planning on going.
Yes.
Park too.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm backing out. But I was thinking of going to the one at Desmond Fish, but isn't that coming up in early
Yes,
October?
and Fish is October 8th from
Oh.
6 to 8 p.m.
But it hasn't been invited yet. We haven't had an invitation.
I know, I'm
You
not in
just
charge
told
of
us.
that.
I
I won't
you
mention
just
who it is.
told us.
Wait, isn't that the one you said the invitation is forthcoming?
Yes.
Yes.
They
No, that
always-
was the one for Hyde Park, but in both, one for Hyde Park, you can start registering now. The one for PCLA supper has not been emailed
The
yet.
Hyde Park one is $40 and it's a breakfast and it's up in Hyde Park. It's
It's
the
at the
whole,
FDR Presidential
the
Library
whole
house.
library is great. And you had some whole group, right? As
Yes,
opposed
it's a
to the
very
one-
big event.
This one's just the county one, the Desmond Fish
Mhm.
one.
The one in Hyde Park is sort of where they're doing their annual meeting and letting everyone knows what's going on with their finances and their staff and this and that. It's pretty
That one was
interesting.
very good.
Yeah, it's
I
very
watched that
interesting.
last year, and I must say, excellent breakfast.
It's
The
very, yeah,
breakfast is good.
very nice.
And you get to go to the museum.
As an aside, I thank you to the friends. I used the passes for the FDR one. Amazing. I was I don't know why I'm surprised. It was an amazing museum. Got very tired near the end. It's long, and then I'm like, this one family's in there with like children. They're like, they have no interest in this whatsoever. This is a mistake for them. And I also went to Mohonk Trail, so I used both of those over one weekend. It was fantastic. So
And
thanks again to the
You
friends.
can see the Roosevelts. There's a cemetery behind the museum. You can see the,
Their ghosts are still there.
yeah, it's very interesting. And a beautiful, huge garden. If anyone likes gardens, it'll still
And if
be.
you go to the
producing
dinner,
a little bit.
the breakfast, you can go
Yeah.
to the.
The house?
Yeah, you'll
free.
get free admission.
The
Not
house.
the house, the
The
library.
library and the
museum.
grounds, the cemetery.
The museums, the house is part of the museum.
Well, we went,
It's
when we
always a
went
separate
2 years
end.
ago, it was the civil rights. And the
Yes.
last time I remember I was sick and I didn't go. I don't know
The
if they still
civil
have the
rights thing
civil
was
rights.
just jaw-dropping. That was so moving.
Yeah,
So
it was
incredible.
very painful.
In terms of future items, I actually a year ago put a tickler in my phone that says Putnam Valley Library need to shop for insurance. I think that there was, you did, okay.
And how was
Check.
the shopping trip?
We got way better.
Good.
The full cart.
Thank you to Jackie. for
Yeah,
that.
Thank you to
Not
Jackie.
Yeah, she did some very wise shopping.
All right. So I want to make sure we make sure. Can I get a second on the adjournment?
Second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Good night, Isabel and Joan's laptop.
Isabel, thank you.
Bye.
Are we off now?
Not yet.